Welcome to Philosophy Unfolded. Today we're diving into the mysterious inner world of Carl Gustav Jung, a thinker who didn't just explore the human psyche, but mapped its mythological terrain. In this episode, we unravel one of his most intriguing and transformative ideas, the collective unconscious, a vast reservoir of symbolic knowledge inherited across generations, shaping the stories we tell, the dreams we dream, and even the lives we lead. We'll journey through ancient archetypes, decode dreams, and examine how the myth of the hero lives through each of us. You're not just watching a video, you're stepping into an old myth that may be more personal than you ever realized. Let's begin. Jung once said, "Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens." To understand the collective unconscious, we must first understand the layers of the human psyche. Imagine the psyche as an iceberg, the tip above the water. Your conscious mind, what you see, feel, and think right now. Just below the surface, the personal unconscious, forgotten memories, repressed emotions, things you've experienced but aren't actively thinking about, but then deep beneath it all lies the collective unconscious. This is where Jung's theory becomes revolutionary. Unlike Freud, who focused on personal history and neurosis, Jung suggested that part of our psyche is impersonal and universal. The collective unconscious isn't made of your individual experiences. It's made of patterns that predate you, symbols, instincts, mythological images shared by all humans across cultures and time. Jung likened it to a psychic inheritance, as real and influential as our biological DNA. Just like we inherit the ability to speak a language, we also inherit a set of symbolic languages, a code of meaning woven into the architecture of our mind. Within the collective unconscious live archetypes, fundamental universal patterns that form the building blocks of human thought and story. They're not rigid characters, but psychological motifs. Think of them like psychological instincts, shaping how we interpret experience. Some of the core archetypes include the self, the totality of the psyche, representing wholeness and unity. The shadow, your dark, repressed aspects, things you hide, deny, or fear. The anima and animus, the inner feminine in men, and the inner masculine in women. The wise old man, woman, a guide or teacher that leads you to deeper truths. The hero, the individual who embarks on a transformative journey. These archetypes appear in religion, folklore, film, art, and even in our day-to-day emotional lives. You might recognize the wise old man in figures like Gandalf, Dumbledore, or Morpheus, but this figure can also show up in your dreams or as a sudden insight during a crisis. The shadow might manifest as a villain in a film, or as your own jealousy, rage, or insecurity. Jung didn't believe we were born with blank slates. He believed we were born with an inner mythos, a pre-installed architecture of meaning that shapes how we live. Let's now focus on the hero, perhaps the most important and relatable archetype. The hero's journey isn't just for movies or epic tales. It's a template for human transformation. Jung observed this pattern across dreams, myths, and personal therapy. Later, Joseph Campbell would synthesize it in The Hero with 1,000 Faces, outlining what we now call the monomyth. The journey unfolds like this. The call to adventure life presents a challenge, a job loss, a breakup, a creative urge, a spiritual crisis. Refusal of the call fear arises. I'm not ready. It's too risky. We retreat into comfort zones. Meeting the mentor, a book, a dream, a person, or even a tragic event awakens the will to go forward. Crossing the threshold, the moment you take the leap, quit the job, begin the project, start therapy, tests, allies, enemies. You struggle, doubt, grow. You meet allies, face enemies, external and internal. The ordeal, the symbolic death, a moment of deep crisis. You face your greatest fear. The reward, and return you survive, changed, empowered, You return home, but now with wisdom to share. This is not just mythology. This is you. Whenever you've faced something terrifying and come through stronger, you've lived the hero's journey. Jung saw this journey as key to individuation, becoming who you truly are beneath the masks and conditioning. Jung once said, "The dream is the small hidden door in the deepest and most intimate sanctum of the soul." Dreams are how the unconscious communicates, and often they speak in archetypes. For example, a house in a dream may represent the psyche. Monster might represent the shadow, a part of yourself you've not yet integrated. A journey or staircase often signifies transformation, moving between psychological states. Jung encouraged people to keep dream journals, not to decode them like puzzles, but to witness patterns, symbols that recur, emotions that rise, stories that unfold over time. Art, film, and myth do the same. Ever notice how the same themes show up across media, from Harry Potter to Star Wars to ancient epics? That's not coincidence. That's the collective unconscious speaking through culture. Jungian therapy isn't about fixing a problem. It's about becoming whole. The goal is individuation, integrating the many parts of yourself into a unified, authentic self. This involves confronting your shadow, listening to the messages of dreams, recognizing the archetypes at play in your story, and walking your own hero's journey. Think of it like alchemy, turning the lead of unconscious fear into the gold of insight and wisdom. Jung saw this as a spiritual process, not just a psychological one. You don't eliminate the darkness, you integrate it, you transform it. Here's a fascinating trivia fact that speaks volumes. Jung once had a recurring dream of building a structure. Eventually, he followed the dream and physically built a stone tower in Bollingen, Switzerland. He called it his confession in stone. It had no electricity, no modern comforts, just fire, stone, and silence. There, he carved ancient symbols and meditated on alchemy, myth, and transformation. It wasn't just a retreat. It was a symbol made manifest, a living archetype. This tower reflects one of Jung's greatest insights. Our inner symbols crave outer expression. What we don't express, we often project or repress. To continue your journey, consider diving into these foundational texts. Man and his symbols, perfect for beginners. Visual, approachable, full of dream examples. The archetypes and the collective unconscious. A deeper, more academic work on Jung's core theory. Memories, dreams, reflections. Jung's poetic autobiography. A glimpse into how his own dreams and visions shaped his work. The Hero with 1,000 Faces by Joseph Campbell connects Jung's ideas to myth across time and culture. Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes explores feminine archetypes through myths, dreams, and Jungian insights. Ego and Archetype by Edward Edinger, excellent for understanding individuation and the psyche's structure. So, what story are you living? Who are you becoming? Are you at the beginning of your journey, or deep in the shadows of your ordeal? The collective unconscious whispers in your dreams, tugs at your choices, appears in the stories you resonate with. It's not abstract, it's you. You are the hero, the shadow, the student, the seeker, and the story continues. Thank you for joining us on Philosophy Unfolded. If this journey sparked something in you, like, share, and subscribe for more explorations of myth, mind, and meaning. Until next time, stay curious and remember, the answers you seek are already within you, waiting for you to remember.